Martus ReportBuilder combines the flexibility of ad hoc reporting with the power of report customization. In the first video of this series, we introduce you to the building blocks of the Martus ReportBuilder, showing you how the settings control the ending date, the grouping, and the data sources used on the report. In the second video, we looked at the template reports that Martus provides and learned how to build your own customized reports based on those templates or from scratch. In this third video, we will look at using sections and hiding rows and columns in order to create complex reports that pack a lot of information into an easily readable form. We'll explain the difference between lines, rows, and sections, then show you how to create multi-section reports. The important takeaway is that different sections don't all have to have the same columns. We'll show you how to manage the columns in the different sections of a report. This video will also explain how you can use hidden rows and columns to provide summary totals or KPIs without having to have lengthy reports with lots of detail. First, we'll give you a few notes on this slide about lines, rows, and sections. Sections contain rows. You can have one or many rows in any section of a report. You don't have to have multiple sections on a report because you can use the many kinds of rows to provide a lot of information. Most of the templates that Martus provides are single section reports. Within the internal structure of the report, rows can have one or more lines. This is controlled by the row type that you choose. Now let's look at this in the Report Builder. We'll work in edit mode, starting with a report that has just one section. This report has several rows on it. Rows can be made up of one or more lines, and the row type controls the format of the row. In this case, this row is an income statement type, a pre-built combination of lines to segregate subtotal and total information in the typical format of a P&L or statement of activities. Then there are single line rows, like these two formula rows at the bottom of this report. The row type here is formula. Formulas are always shown as a single line. Whenever you are in edit mode, you'll see that the editor box runs down the entire length of the row. The editor box is very small and square on a single line row, but it can be very long indeed on a multi-line row like this example. For multi-line rows, the grouping is controlled at the row level as well, so that you can group information by account, account category, or any of your dimensions. And you can use as many levels as you wish to, for example, by department, by account category, and then by account. For this illustration, we'll simply leave it at the account level. All the rows within a given section share the same columns. So these columns here affect all rows on this report, including the row with the income statement layout and the formula rows. One interesting thing that you can do with rows is that you can hide them. Click this button when editing the row, update and refresh. In edit mode, you'll still see all of the rows on the report. But when you go to view mode, that hidden row is no longer shown. And if I were to export this report, I would see only the visible rows. Now let's get started with adding a section to this report. In edit mode, you will notice the small square at the top left. This controls the section settings. You can set a title for this section. You also use the section editor to add sections above or below. And I'm going to add a section above. The first thing you'll notice is that the section has no rows or columns. I'll click the section editor, give it a title. You'll see that I've got an option here to copy columns from another section. So I'm going to do that. That will immediately give me a section with those columns. This is an easy way to get started with this section. Now I'll use the section editor again to add a row. I'll use the row editor. I'm going to make this a income statement layout row. I'm going to put it in category order, and I'm going to assign a particular reporting group to this row. I'll assign a title to the row as well. You can see that the columns in this section are identical to the columns in the original section, but those columns don't have to be the same. I'll point the top section of this report to a different data source. And I'll make some changes in the column headings as well. I'm going to use that data source in this column. And I'll set the header on this column to approved budget. I'll do the same for the year-to-date column on this section. Now, although the structure is somewhat similar, I've got different data sources in the top section of the report than I do in the lower section of the report. I'll want to add a title to this section of the report to make it clear why these sections are different. And of course, I could go on within this section and add other rows, perhaps a row just for the West region, or perhaps a formula comparing those two regions together. This example just scratches the surface. This example illustrates, however, that you can have different columns in different sections. You can have different data sources in different sections. If you use reporting groups, you can even have sections that summarize information for different reporting groups. Or you could have different sections for different reporting groups. To wrap this up, we'll take a quick peek at a more complex report. This example has two sections. One is the KPIs related to salary costs. The other one is headed Statement of Activities and includes some other KPIs. The two sections report on different information and present it very differently. If we look at this report in edit mode, we can see that we have a section here named KPIs and salary costs. We have a second section. This is the one named Statement of Activities. We're going to change the name of this one to Additional KPIs. This section has three rows. One that is an account type row based on the reporting group named Salaries. There's a second row, also an account type row based on the reporting group of Benefits. And this formula row compares the total benefits to the total salaries number. In this section, we have an income statement layout row that is hidden. Then we have a few rows with KPIs in them. Each of these formula rows points to specific lines within that hidden income statement row in order to calculate the KPI. You'll also notice the two reports also have very different columns, with many calculations in this section that are not included in the top section. In view mode, you just see a nice, compact, easy-to-read report. This complex report illustrates a few of the things that you can do with Martus Report Builder. For more information, check out our knowledge base. And if you have questions, reach out to Martus Support with the email support@martussolutions.com. Thanks for watching this video that focused on creating complex reports with multiple sections and on the uses of hidden rows and columns.